What if I told you that you could automate your New Year's resolutions and then you don't have to feel like a loser by the middle of January when you give up? You can, in fact, automate your New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to tell you how. The first thing that you want to do is make your New Year's resolutions. You need to know what your resolutions are. So go ahead and make those New Year's resolutions and write it down in a nice long list. Step two, what you need to do is work backwards. For me, I've been doing this for as long as I can remember. When I was 18, I sold Mary Kay cosmetics. I loved it and I did really well at it, and I had an upline but the lady, her name was Melissa. She was kind of like our region leader, or at least for my group. She was so organized. She had a notebook on her at all times. When she needed to get something done, she wrote it down. One thing that I remember her telling me was start with the end goal in mind. So start at the end. That's basically what she was saying. Ever since then, that is what I do, and I think that it's pretty common for people to do that. I don't think she invented it. I know I didn't. I got it from her. If you start at the end, then you can work backwards and automate yourself so that you achieve your goal. Now, automation happens when you build habits, and even the tiniest little habit builds and builds and builds and builds and becomes like the most amazing tool that you can have in your toolbox. Let me tell you how to build tiny habits, okay? And the what I'm telling you is heavily influenced by two books, Atomic Habits and Tiny Habits. And my brain is mixing the two of them together. So just know that I am heavily influenced by those two books. You can automate your goals by building habits into your daily life. If you want to run a marathon, you have to say, okay, I'm going to run a marathon in 7 months. So by the end of my 6th month, I need to be able to run X amount of miles with ease. By the end of my 5th month, I need to be able to run X amount of miles with ease, and so on and so forth, until you get down to the week, the very first week that you're going to start. And you're like, okay, well, by the end of this month, I need to be able to run 5 miles. I'm just saying, 5 miles by the end of this month. By week 3, you want to be able to run 4 miles. By week 2, you want to be able to run 2 miles. And by week 1, I'm not a runner, can you tell? Because I have no idea. Neither here nor there. This is just an example. So by the end of the first week, you want to be able to run a mile. Day 1. You're going to break it down to day 1. Okay, what is the first thing that you could do to get started on that mile? The very first thing you can do is put your shoes on. That's it. And then maybe kind of jog for a little bit, on the second day. And maybe on the third day, you're going to put your shoes on, you're going to jog a little bit, and then you're going to run a little bit. And on the third day, you're going to put your shoes on, you're going to jog a little bit, and you're going to run a little bit further. And then by the end of the week, you're running a whole mile. And you can do that with absolutely anything that you have. Now, here is the kicker. This is how you make that habit stick, and this is how you make that habit automatic. Automatic habits are superpowers. We are creatures that run on habits. And as soon as I realized that, it just made so much more sense to me, because there are so many things that I know I do out of habit that are maybe good habits or not so great habits. But the thing is once you're aware of them, you can change them. Here's what you need to do in order to lock that habit in is you need to anchor that habit to a cue. Maybe you decide that you're going to run every morning after you brush your teeth, okay? And you're going to go for a run. So you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you put on your shoes, and you go for a run. So you need to anchor it to a habit you already have, a habit that you already just do automatically. And it will take a little bit of practice, but building habits that's what you do. You practice at them until they're a habit. Then once you've anchored it and everything, you want to track it. Once you've decided, okay, I'm going to anchor my running habit to brushing my teeth in the morning. That way I get it done first thing in the morning and we're all good. Then you want to give yourself a reward. Now, a reward can be a sense of well-being. It does not need to be a donut or a night out on the town. It can be something simple like feeling accomplished. So that's it. Okay, you're going to have your cue, you're going to have your habit that you want to make, and then you're going to have your reward. Now, the best thing that you can do is track this. You cannot improve what you do not track. You don't even know where you are if you're not tracking it. Make yourself a habit tracker. I will show you in one of my planners, not this one, but I will show you what my habit tracker looks like. And I leave in there a space for why I didn't do something. Like maybe you're sick. Maybe you're sick one day and you can't run. So you would want to write in your habit tracker, sick, couldn't run. And you want to be able to track it because at the end of the week, you're going to go back and you are going to review. Okay. You need to review what you have done. And if the anchor isn't working, if something's off, then adjust it and try again. Okay. So don't just get stuck in a rut and say, okay, well, this is what I'm doing when it's not actually working for you. Move forward, adjust, review, adjust, and move forward. And if it is working, then just keep going forward with what is working. You will be automating your goals. Now, you can do this with many goals. However, I recommend that you only do at most 2 at a time because you don't want to fatigue your brain, fatigue yourself, and I recommend 2 at a time. So when you are making that list of dreams and resolutions that you have at the beginning of the year, you need to prioritize which ones you want to do first and which ones can wait until later in the year, because every month you can do 2 more goals if you want, because it takes about a month to make a habit automatic. And once it's automatic, you're still going to continue to do that. You're still going to continue to run every morning because you've made it a habit. So you're not going to stop doing that in order to take up 2 more. You're going to continue doing the 2 that you already did, and then you're going to add 2 more to it. However, you're going to stop tracking the other 2, the first 2, because you've already ingrained it in your brain that this is habit. This is something that I do. I'm a runner now, and I run every morning after I brush my teeth. So that is how you are going to automate. And then by the end of the year, you will have 24 accomplishments that you have automated, and you will continue to do them throughout your lifetime because you made them habits, unless you decide to break them. Now, you can do this for habits that you don't want to do. You just replace that with another habit and you tie it to a trigger that normally triggers you, but you figure out what that anchor is, and then you replace it with the habit that you want to have. And that does sound overly simple. I know that it would work. Yeah. So that is how you would automate your New Year's resolutions. Let me show you what my notebook looks like so that you can kind of get a feel for it. Now, it's not really fleshed out because it's for 2025 and I haven't worked a lot in it, but I just want to give you an idea to help hopefully maybe give you a jumping off point so that you can be inspired and maybe do something like this for yourself. I'm not an expert in the subject by any means, but this does work for me, and I think that it will work for you. Another reason why I know this works is because when my daughter was in high school, she made her junior year so hard. She was stressed to the max. And I told her, I was like, okay, well, what we need you to do is work backwards. Okay, so you have a report due on the 15th. In order to get that report done, break up each step that you need to take to make that report. And then each week, you're going to work on that and do that each week. And that is what she did. That is how she got through her junior year. And to this day, she still does it. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe because it helps me a lot and it's free for you. And I can't wait to see you next time. So I will see you very, very soon. In the meantime, check out this video. I hope you like it.